Everything is 0 and 1. Be a 0. Don't be a 1. In America, there's always a call to be number 1. I want to be number 1. Be first. Be 0. Be nothing. All computers are run on the binary, 0 and 1. You be a 0. This is the big difference. Normative Judaism is to be number 1. You want to be a 0. A Kabbalist is a 0. It's obvious in the depiction of the number itself. The vertical line of the number 1 has polarities, above and below. It's a duality. It becomes echad as a unity, but it's a duality, top and bottom. In the circle, which is the number 0, these two polarities come together as a snake biting its own tail. The tail is in the mouth. They come together, the Keter Malkus. They come together as a spot of origin. A circle creates an empty space. That empty space is receptivity. The circle is receptivity. Receptivity is Kabbalah. Receptivity is Kibul, the root Kabbalah. When one is a Kabbalist, one is a receiver, a Kibel Hey. He receives the Hey. The letter Hey is what he receives. That Hey in all its fullness is Hey Aleph. He receives the 1. He's the 0 and the 1. The Hey, the space inside the letter for the receiving. The space of the 0 within the 0 is the space of all creation, because there's a surrounding light, which is the highest level. And within that space, that's where everything takes place. So to be a 0 is to be higher than the 1. Be higher than the Rishon, or the Echad. We know this from other things about the concept of space that is not known. It's not known, not das. Because for me, the Sephira of Das is 0. Keter is the first Sephira, and Das is 0. That's why they don't count Das. The 0 in the tree of life appears in the throat, in the thyroid area, as 0. So there are still 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 0 still, so there's 10 Sephiros, plus the 0, it's still 10 Sephiros. But the 0 only appears with Das. And so Das appears with Keter at certain times. And so it's still only one Sephira, 0, and Das, that's Keter, and Das is, there's only one Sephira, that's Keter, and then Das appears as 0. In yoga, the headstand is the king, and that's the one stand. But the shoulder stand, the queen stand, the mother pose, that's Das. Because Das then appears with Keter in a straight line, in a horizontal line of how the head appears, not in a vertical position of the one, but then there's a horizontal, and then the legs go up for the shoulder stand, and that is Das at the thyroid, in the same position as the 1,000-petaled lotus on the horizontal plane, lying on the ground, both grounded as a Malkus grounds. And so this Das appears in the shoulder stand and the opening of the thyroid. And this shoulder stand, being the queen pose, is higher than the king pose, the same way that it's a ruse in chess that the king is higher than the queen. The king appears higher than the queen, but the queen is the most powerful piece on the board. The psychology of chess is the same here. The queen pose is a pose of entrance into the unknown, lo Das, the space between the head and the body, the space which the beard covers. The beard is the veil of the Adam's apple. The beard is the veil. Ooh. E. Oh. The beard is the veil. The veils are all the reals. Da'as is the beard. And so these are some things, some appearances of the actual that appear with the union and the understanding of the figures of 0, the circle, and 1, the vertical line. How true Kabbalah doesn't have to go deeper than the manifestations of Arabic numerals and the history of these numerals and the concept of number, and that the zero is the highest level because the zero is the concept of aim, as opposed to ani. The ani is the one, but the zero is the aim, which is the same letters rearranged differently. Receptivity as the concept of the zero. In that space, one goes into the zero space. Participation is the zero, not the one. Goal orientation is the one. Participation is the zero. And so some of these few words here is an entrance into a different speech of Kabbalah that I am going to part and start. The manifestation of the hidden in plain sight. Here's the beard. Did you know the beard was Das? Did you know the beard was the veil? Until it spoke out here in these few minutes, I didn't know that myself. And that's the object of prayer. That's the object of psychoanalysis. That's the object of speech and theater. That's the object of receptivity, because as I am receptive, the hey comes and manifests in my body in a certain way. Hey comes a certain way.